click that. All right, I think we're live. You guys let me know if you can hear me. Morning, Christopher. Morning, Lewis. Morning, Double. Judd. Dwin. All right, you guys can hear me? Cool. I still don't really know how all this YouTube streaming stuff works. I'm sort of just barely, I'm still barely making it work. All right, let's talk about some stuff. So what I want to talk about today is a little bit of my buddy Mike Shea, Sly Flourish. I call him my buddy. We've talked like once. I want him. Yeah. He's my buddy. He's my buddy. Talking about his Kickstarter campaign that's coming to close pretty soon. And then we might talk about some Nimble stuff. So whatever question you guys have, we'll chat about that. So that's the plan. We'll see where it goes. Give me just 1 second, everybody. Okay, so Mike Shea, if you guys don't know him, he goes by Sly Flourish also. I guess that was like some ability back in the day, like 3rd edition or something, some cool rogue ability. But he's published all sorts of cool stuff, and he's helped me a lot in my D&D journey. He's got a pretty cool blog, but my favorite thing, and you guys can see that I backed this project with my own dollary dues. I want to get the hardcover personally. But if you don't have it, he has a book called, I'd show it to you here because I bought it like 3 times, but I think my copy I lent to someone else who never gave it back. Someone else I wanted to be a DM, and they never go back. I think it's this one. It's Return of, let me just search for it real quick. It's Return of the, there it is. All right, so this is how I most recently purchased it again. Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master. You get it as an audiobook. It's not Mike that's reading it, but it's pretty decent. Pretty decent reader. It's on Amazon, but I'd recommend you get it from his web shop is the best place to get it. I think he gets the biggest cut of it if you buy it from his web shop. But Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master is a fantastic book for any new GM. And the Nimble Nimble GM guide is going to incorporate some elements of it, not everything obviously, but it's going to incorporate some elements of it and then point you toward getting the Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master guide, because it's that good. It's that good. It's really, if you're a new GM, even if you're not a new GM, if you want to be a dungeon master, if you're at all interested in it, I'd highly recommend it. $35 fine price. If you can find it for cheaper, sometimes it goes on sale, but it goes to support Mike. So go ahead and get it. I've bought the physical version 2 or 3 times. I bought the audiobook version so I can listen to it while I'm driving around and doing stuff. But it is just a fantastic book. He's been a dungeon master for longer than many of us have been alive. But it's really that good. But what Mike has done is he's put out a new setting book. So a setting book that's can basically fit in anywhere you like, and you can go anywhere you like, which is something I'm excited about. I haven't read much about it, so I'm sort of saving. I saved much of the reading of this for this video, so I wouldn't spoil it too much. But City of Arches. I asked him, hey, Mike, what are you most excited about? Let me just read you. Let me read you what he told me. And like once he said this, I was like, all right, now we get it. So he said, I said, what's your favorite thing about it? What are you most excited about? He said, having a cheerful city above, surrounded by endless adventure in all the major environments around it, excites me the most. And yeah, that's exactly cool. So the City of Arches, from what I can tell, is basically like this. Let me just show you instead of trying to explain it. So included in the adventure, included in the Kickstarter page is a link to a free preview. You just click right there. It'll scroll down, download the free preview. So this is the map of the city. Pretty solid map. It's got some cool art. But what the city is It's basically, it says arches. And arches, obviously the best shape if you've ever talked to an engineer. Absolutely the best shape. But it is a place that is connected to all sorts of other different places. So why do I think this is so cool? So I've told you guys before that I've ran like games like Icewind Dale. Really cool for like a few weeks, and then like after a while, the cold, overbearing, sad environment gets a little bit old. Okay, so it got a little bit old, honestly. And then there's other ones like where is it what's the vampire one? Curse of Strahd. So Curse of Strahd, that one's pretty cool. But like after a while, like that could get old. Like if you ever spend too much time in the jungles of Chult or in the freezing frosts of Icewind Dale or the Underdark, like those adventure settings can just get a little bit taxing. Like it's always sad, it's always dour, it's always bleak. I just sort of prefer like a happy, cheerful setting where bad things can't happen, or where adventure abounds, that kind of thing. So let's read the opening pitch and see how it is. So this is basically a live read through for me. I'm reading through most of this, going to be for the first time. Welcome to the City of Arches. Okay, I gotta do the voice. If we're gonna, this is the lore. Here we go, guys. For thousands of years, the City of Arches has stood as a kind of citadel along the border. But I can't do that. I'm gonna blow my voice out. But a citadel along the border between this world and others, built on a location where the boundaries between planes and realms are naturally thin. The city was once a waypoint to hundreds of other locations in this world and beyond. Okay, so like that immediately, when I hear that, like I immediately am thinking about a game that I spent a good chunk of my childhood playing, Planescape Torment. So it's a city, sigil. I say sigil, that like has like portals to like other different cool areas. So the place that you're in is like, it's one thing, like it could be one thing, but you can like one day be in the deserts, the next day be in the jungle, the next day be up in Icewind Dale or like wherever. So I love that idea. And a campaign, I'm just pulling all my books off the shelf today. Campaign that I've been wanting to run for a long time, I even got the box set, is the Planescape, what is it? Planescape Adventures of the Multiverse. I've been wanting to play this one for so long, but as I like read reviews of it and stuff, like it needs a lot of work. It's not actually that good. It's a little bit disappointing. It's, you know, this and this and this. It has some cool ideas, but it's rough, you know, all of that sort of stuff. I backed this with my own dollars, hoping to be able to use this for my own Planescape adventure. So that's what I'm planning on using it for. And I've bought a bunch of other Mike's books. If you haven't, probably my favorite, second only to The Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master, is this one. Forge of Foes. And if you don't know what this one is, real quick before we get into the City of Arches too much, I think you can still get this one too. It's by Teos Abadia, Scott Fitzgerald Gray, and Mike Shea. But this is basically what the monster manual should have been. This is what the monster manual should have been, or at least what the advice in the monster manual about like making your own monsters, that kind of stuff, should have been. And it's a hardback, but it's not one of the super thick hardbacks. It's a fairly quick read, but it has tables in it. This is how to make actually level appropriate encounters, and encounters that work really, really easily. So here's a really cool table where here it's character level, how many hit points it should be, this monster level, and I know you guys can't see it, but basically it's a table, a CR3, so for instance, it says a CR3 monster, which is what even is a CR, nobody knows. A CR3 monster is equivalent to a level 7 character. So like that information alone is incredibly helpful. It should have an AC of 13, it should have about 65 hit points, blah blah. It should be dealing 23 damage per round and have 2 attacks. Like that kind of information, like just boiled down to one, like half of a page on this chart. You just have every CR that you could possibly have, and then there's some examples of what monster that is, how many attacks they should have, what their hit points should be, and these numbers are actually accurate and good. You can count on them as being correct for what you're expecting. So it's not just the numbers, but it also has like, hey, if you have a beast, here's a couple of cool abilities that it can have. So here's the stats, and here's a couple of cool abilities. It can have hit and run. It could have empowered by carnage. Okay, I'm just gonna read that. I don't even know what it does. Empowered by Carnage. Reaction. When this creature hits another creature with a melee attack, and the damage from the attack either reduces the target below half their hit point maximum, okay, if it bloodies a creature, or if it kills a creature, this creature can immediately move up to their speed and repeat the melee attack against another target. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So if you want something to feel really bestial, then you can give it that. If you have a celestial being, you might give it Mirrored Judgment instead. Reaction. When this creature is the sole target of an attack or spell, they can choose another valid target to also be targeted by the attack or spell. Ooh, that's cool. A celestial might change their face or armor to become reflective like a mirror, so that an attacking creature can contemplate their actions. I really like that. That's super duper cool. So it has those kinds of things. All right, here's the stats, but if you want it to be a celestial or a construct, instead of that, you give a construct different ability. If it's a dragon, then you give it a different ability, or a fiend or elemental. So all sorts of cool stuff like that. So that's really, really neat. But I think my favorite part of this, so they have cool things about monster rolls and stuff. Let me see if I can find the chart real quick. But there's just a really quick chart. Here it is. General use combat stat blocks. So I'm doing something similar to this for Nimble. These are great for 5e, and you can use these right away for Nimble as well. But this is just a general CR2 creature should have 13 hit points, or 13 armor class, 45 hit points, speed of 30, 2 attacks. Attacks are 1d12 plus 3. So just stat blocks that you can just quickly, just at a glance, run. I love that. I love everything that Mike Shea does. He's fantastic. So that's why I want to review this. I'm hopeful to be able to use City of Arches for my own personal campaign as a quasi Planescape Torment. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Okay, so City of Arches, basically this old location, a bunch of buried lore, a lot of really cool things that you can find and see and do. A place full of adventure. What I know about, what I really like about it, is that, hey, it has like, hey, here's how you can pitch this this adventure or this book, this setting book, to your party. So it's not just a setting; it has a bunch of adventures as well. But if you want to like play 1 or 2 adventures from Curse of Strahd, you walk through the portal and hey, you're in Barovia and you can fight Strahd, and then you come back, right? If you want to go to the Underdark for a few weeks, you go to the Underdark and then you come back to the City of Arches. So that's the really cool thing that I like about it. I can pull in any adventure that I want, sort of combine them to it. But it has, here's the pitch. So you kind of want to get buy-in from your players if you're a GM. City of Arches is a high fantasy adventure setting, perfect, that's what I love, whose stories can include navigating political intrigue, that's awesome, uncovering secrets from the city's dark past, delving into the city's endless caverns, crypts, and ruins. So lots of like hooks and places for adventure. Strange magic, archways for which the city is named, can bring in creatures of nearly every race, species, origin, or ancestry. Once the fallen capital of a tyrannical empire. What? The fallen capital of a tyrannical empire that spread through multiple worlds, with secret servants dedicated to that empire working tirelessly for its return. Okay, so that's cool. I didn't know that. So there's sort of like a BBEG kind of vibe coming back. Like, all right, you can like fiddle around, run whatever adventures, but if you want like a thread tying everything together, then like the empire's coming back. That's really neat. I like that, and you can sort of, as a GM, like, hey, I want the bad empire to be coming back now, or you can say like, no, they're still plotting, that kind of thing. So I really like how when in his books, Mike says like, hey, here's the key bits of information that you need to know. You don't have to read through 10 pages. It's all on one page. So these are the truths of the City of Arches. Some of the residents know these, not everybody does, but like as the GM, these are things that you want, that you can reveal if you want to. City of Arches is thousands of years old. However, most of those who live here have little idea of the city's true origins. So that's pretty cool. So if you ask your everyday commoner or business person, they're gonna say, I don't know, I just live here, and like crazy things come through the portals every once in a while. I don't know what's going on. So it gives like it lets your players figure things out. with the people. Dozens of archways, different sizes, shapes can be found. They can radiate chaotic magic. All the city arches were once infused with. Some were dormant. Okay. No one controls the arches. Occasionally, creatures just step through. Okay. Those who know the arches speak of magic keys that can activate them. Okay, so things that you can go and find. Oh, I need to scroll up a little bit. So things that you can find, like, hey, a quest reward is this key to this magical place. That's pretty neat. A group known as the Archkeepers now helps new arrivals stepping through the arches to feel safe and welcome. Okay, so like level 1 characters, like nobody's born here. Maybe you step through something and you end up in the City of Arches, and then here's how you get your bearings. The Archkeepers. I like that. I kind of like that. Sorry, so I'm not going to read all of these, but waterfall. I love waterfalls. The glacial ice of the Skyreach Mountains. Mike Shea is pretty good about coming up with some pretty evocative names. I think that's actually one of the tips that he has. All right, so here's some adventure. So you've heard of adventure hooks. Let me move me over to this side real quick. So you've heard of adventure hooks. Like everybody knows what an adventure hook is, but have you ever heard of an adventure hook setup? So there's adventure hooks and then adventure hook setups. These provide potential ways that characters, I gotta move everything over. I'll learn how to do this one day. All right, so these provide ways for characters to pick up these adventure hooks. So rather than just raw adventure hooks, like what do I do with these? Here's how they find out. So actually, I've got a D20. I'm gonna go ahead and roll and see what 8. A mysterious letter or message directs the characters to the hook. Okay, so they get a message. They get a letter, or maybe it's like a message written in blood or something like super creepy like that. Let's do one more. 10. A local temple requests the assistance from the characters. Okay, so it may be one of the characters is a cleric or something like that. That's pretty cool. What happens on a nat 20? A member of a faction organization hires the characters as private investigators, provides them with the hook. All right, cool. Let's take a look. So this is, from what I understand, it's a system agnostic setting book, but it is largely based around 5e as the assumption, which, like, you can change to whatever. You can run it in Nimble, you can run it in 5e, you can run it in a lot of different things. There's monsters that blocks. Okay. There's using the City of Arches. All right, so here's something that I read earlier and I really liked it. Dial Up the Dread. As presented in this book, the City of Arches is a happy place. Dangers exist around, above, and below the city, but daily life is relatively safe and the people who live here are optimistic and content. So if you're going to be playing through like an extended campaign, I think that's sort of what you need, and not unless you're playing with people who like love going to horror movies and haunted houses and stuff, and they just really dig that, and they eat, drink, and sleep that. Some people are like that; they can really dig that. But too much of like the dread and the overbearing sadness and spookiness and all that, it does get old. Like it's fun every once in a while, but I want to play in an environment that is like overall happy or optimistic. And then like you get yourself into trouble and then you get yourself out and then you sort of reset to this baseline. I really like that. There are rules. There's advice on how to sort of crank it up if you want to, but I think I probably wouldn't do that. So let's look at the introductory scenario. This section presents a short introductory scenario, sets the stage for adventures in the City of Arches. It's intended to play out in an hour or so. All right, so if you're playing D&D 5e, it might take you a couple of hours to make your characters. It might take you an hour to talk about your session 0 stuff. So you have just a brief 1 hour adventure you can play on the first day that you guys get together. I kind of like that. You can run this scenario on its own or as part of your session 0, which I would definitely recommend. I hate sort of getting together, just talking about playing, and then like, if you're there, just go ahead and start playing. It's intended for 3 to 6 first level characters. I think every adventure needs this like super duper prominently. One of my biggest gripes about a lot of the written adventures is it won't say like, it'll say like what, like how many people this is for and what party size and what party levels, but it'll be like buried somewhere amidst like different paragraphs, and I hate that. So there is this adventure. Pray for Smiley Bob. Pray for Smiley Bob is a Dungeons & Dragons adventure designed for first level characters. Okay, so that's super helpful, but I wish it was more prominent. Like that kind of stuff, like just can't be too prominent in my book. So if it was me, I would have like a big like circle, like bam, first level characters, first level party, 3 to 6 characters, something like that, super prominent, so like you just don't miss it. And I think there's here. So I think there's another thing that Mike Shea, Scott Fitzgerald, right? Mike Shea, yeah, he helped out on this one. So Fantastic Layers is something that does it great. So this is just an entire book just filled with boss battles. If you guys don't know this one's pretty sweet as well. I recommend it. But like everything is organized by, this is the first level boss battle, second level, third level. So it's super easy to find. And I actually ran this one. I brought it up earlier on a stream a while back, and I forgot where it was from. It's from Fantastic Layers. It says, so this layer is optimized for 4 to 5 17th level characters. I would love it if this was like even more prominent. It's great that it's on the first page, but I would love it if that kind of thing was more prominent. But okay, so this one is for 3 to 6 first level characters. And I think 3 to 6 is much better. You might only have 3 people. You might have 6 people in your party. That is better than 4 to 5. But I get that this one here is much higher level. So 17th level, it's harder to balance. You need to narrow the bands just a little bit. This scenario begins with the characters in the City of Arches. You and the players can decide why their characters are together and whether they're walking, sitting down, at an outdoor eatery, or so forth. Okay. Take the time for everyone to do a short character introduction. So something that I'm going to include in the Nimble Game Master's Guide for those of you guys who are getting that is something called character vignettes. It's not going to be for first-time Game Masters, but if you played before. But character vignettes is rather than like, hey, Brandon, go and introduce your character. My character's a kobold monk, and he's 3 feet tall. And then Brandon looks at the next person. Okay, Sasha, you introduce your character. My character is a elf ranger, and she's 5 feet tall. So like that kind of thing, it doesn't really go that well sometimes. So I will come up with just like a paragraph, maybe like 5 minutes, 3 minutes, a little something to where people, the game master and one player sort of have like just a brief like one-on-one while everybody else listens. Like, so they introduce their character like while they're playing. So it's not really a combat encounter. It's just a narrative thing. There might be some roles, but it is a vignette specifically for that character, explaining how they got to where they are right now. Seeing that rather than like saying that or explaining it or like printing out the backstory, like here's my backstory, everybody read it. Rather than that, like if everybody at the table and the player themselves can see like this is my backstory, you can play that out in just like 2 or 3, maybe 5 minutes, that kind of thing. I'm including that kind of stuff in the Nimble GM guide. But this one, it sort of leaves it up to you. This is really not a GM guide. This is just a setting. So maybe you already have your ideas like that. But some tips on how to implement that kind of thing if you're looking for that. Okay, so Garland Willowmane. I love having the picture of the people that I can see. So rather than like a paragraph of text, like, oh, Garland Willowmane is a 63-year-old woman with a leather band, and like I could just describe her rather than just like reading the text. People can immediately tell, your players at least can immediately tell when you're talking to them versus when you're reading a thing off of a sheet. And like when you're reading, people just tune out. But if you're describing something off the top of your head, like even if it's less eloquent, people will generally tend to pay more attention to that. So I do like that. When the introduction is done, Garland Willowmane, head archkeeper for the City of Arches, arrives and asks the characters for help. Okay, cool. Includes the following points. The archkeepers are an order whose members watch out from creatures traveling unexpectedly through the mysterious portals in the city. Using magic developed by the order, the archkeepers suspect that a nearby archway is about to activate. Oh, okay, so they can see it before. I gotta move myself over again. Sorry, guys. So they can see it before it starts happening. That's kind of cool. It's not just like an emergency situation all the time. It's something they can sort of see happening. Whoever comes through the archway portal is likely to be confused as its magic removes their memories. Oh, okay, I love that. So maybe a lot of these characters, like, they don't even know how they got there. The magic removes their memories and confuses them. It's typical for the City of Arches. Garland usually has members of the Golden Knights to back her up when an archway activates, but they can't get here in time. Most creatures who come through the arches aren't hostile, and the characters shouldn't automatically threaten this new arrival. Garland carries a peaceful offering, a gift basket containing artisanal cheeses and crackers, scented soap, soft towels. Okay, so this is this is if you say like, all right, so there's this elderly woman, big smile on her face, she's got gray hair, and she's carrying a basket of cheeses, and make a perception check. You smell scented floral soaps. Like immediately people get like the tone for like this city, and I like that. I like that touch. Soft towels, invitation to the city's public baths. Okay, cool. So you're learning about location, you're learning about this character. So like, unless, and I haven't read ahead, so this isn't spoilers. Unless Garland is like the big bad evil guy, and this is like the biggest like plot twist ever. Like if someone comes to you carrying like soft towels and scented soaps, like they're the good guy immediately. So I like that. So just knowing, and maybe she's the bad guy, I don't know. But just knowing like, okay, this is the good faction, and I want to be a part of this faction, I think is pretty cool. That said, sometimes new arrivals are overcome with fear or anger that makes things get ugly. For the safety of the city, the characters should be prepared for trouble. Okay, cool. I like that. So do you need to say all of these things? No. Do you need to read these? No. But if as a GM, like if I just read through these bullet points, it's not a whole page, it's just maybe a quarter, a fifth of a page, just a few bullet points. I can remember those. I might say like, I'm gonna, more or less say like these 3 bullet points. Like she's definitely coming with a basket. She definitely has soaps. She definitely has some cheeses. And like maybe one of the characters, like always, one of the characters is gonna say like, oh no, does it have nuts in it? My character's allergic to nuts. And like, oh no. And then she throws the nuts away, like, oh, I'm so sorry, and she burns it or something. Like some cool thing can happen. Like she's definitely come with a basket. We definitely say that these character like the characters learn that like the going through the arches addles your brain, messes with your memories. Love that. And then like they can predict sometimes when these things happen, when an arch is about to activate. So that's really, really cool. Double King asks, would you work with a player to come up with a situation for the vignette you play through, or just make it up independently? It can be either. So some of my players, they have like a rough idea for a class. Like I want my character to like accidentally be a warlock and sort of be a dum-dum. He doesn't know he's a warlock. He thinks he's a cleric. I'm like, oh, awesome. I love that. So then I'll just sort of come up with the rest. Some of them, they will just come up with their 12-page backstory, and I will sort of boil it down to, all right, here's a vignette, so that nobody else is going to read the 12-page backstory. I might not even read it. I might scan it, but I will boil it down so that everybody else sort of gets their character. Others are just going to be like, I don't know, I'm a fighter. Come up with whatever you want. Like some people don't care, and then like I'll come up with something that makes them more excited about their character. So that kind of thing is pretty sweet. One of my favorite things to do when starting a new thing. All right, so the arch awakens. As the archway activates, Garland steps forward, basket in hand. She waves the characters back to avoid creating a threatening presence for the newcomer. Okay, so really communicating the picture of what's going on. She isn't prepared for the flock of surges that emerge before that creature appears. 2 surges per character. Okay, so I like how that's something that I'm doing in the Nimble GM book as well. So rather than just like five goblins or 10 things or whatever, 2 surges, it's per character, per hero. So X number per hero. I like that because it's much easier for the GM to scale it and not be super overpowered or super underpowered and boring. 2 surges per character fly out of the archway and attack. With 1 surge focusing on each character, while the rest attack Garland and other bystanders. Roll for initiative. Love that. One thing that I would do if I were talking to Mike, I would say like just right here in the margin or like anywhere, just have like the mini stat block for the surge. Flying attacks 1d4 plus 1. Just so that I don't have to get another book, open it up, find it, flip to it, or make notes myself. If I'm going to be running it right out of this book, if I'm a lazy DM, I definitely want the stat blocks just right here for the Sturges, or whatever the Stingbat or whatever thing you change it to. Consider running this battle as theater of the mind, combat, asking the players what they want to do, helping them accomplish their intentions. So having like a simple, very low stakes first encounter as theater of the mind is pretty cool. Just showing people that like that is an option. I think that's pretty cool. Some players have a hard time visualizing and imagining it. So for them, I would maybe have a map. But it's not a hard thing. Hey, run this as theater of the mind. It's like, hey, think about it if you want to. So you can have like just quick impromptu encounters that are just real quick and dirty. Maybe someone will take just a few hit points. Nobody really is gonna die. You don't really have to worry about like where things are for AOE type spells because it's level 1. You could do that kind of thing. It'd be quicker to set up and play through. Help them accomplish their intentions. So like someone might say, I don't know, I want to attack one of them, and then all right, you run up, roll a d20. Especially for new characters, that kind of thing could be cool. And then okay, so there's guidance on like an AoE spell like Burning Hands. If characters want to target multiple Sturges with spells like Burning Hands, they can easily hit 2 Sturges without hitting an ally or bystander. Okay. So if they say, hey, can I hit 3 or 4? Like, yeah, you can hit 3, but you'll hit one of your allies. You okay with that? You can hit 2 safely, 3 only if you hit your new friend Garland. She might not like that. And you can let them pick. During the fight, have each character make a wisdom perception check. I would just say perception check. We don't need to say wisdom perception check. I don't know. The character with the highest check notices, okay, I like this. So have everybody do it, rather than just whoever has the highest perception. But the character with the highest, you say, you, Brandon, notice there's a hooded cultist that comes out of the crowd, knife in hand. And she's going to stab Garland, it looks like. And you're the only one who notices. Like, what do you do? I really like that. So everybody had the chance to be the one who makes the choice of what to do. But whoever rolls the highest gets the chance. So like this battle is probably intended to be a pretty easy battle, like a round or two of like you get to like practice your abilities, you can show off, you can take turns and that kind of thing. But like you get to do I throw a dagger. Yeah. Okay, I missed a sentence. If no character intercedes, the cultist stabs no. All right, no. All right, so it is good to know what happens if the heroes don't do anything, but they're not gonna not do anything. Like she just gave you a basket of cheeses and crackers. So nothing. If they don't do anything, she is stabbed fatally. She is not stabbed fatally, but enough to cause the Archkeeper to drop the gift basket and stagger. My gift basket. The cultist then yells out, "Behold the coming of the Golgoron, Sunder of Rylovox, Prince of Akara, and Herald of He Who Shall Rise Again." All right, so some of this I love, some of this I don't. Behold the coming of Golgoron. Okay, so that one's easy enough to read on the fly. So I hadn't read this. I hadn't read this before. Sunderer is cool. Like, all right, that's cool. But this Rylovox. So like having like 3 proper nouns in this one thing is too much for me to like be able to pronounce. Like I'm gonna sound like a dope. Like the cultist would be able to say this pretty cool. I might just say, "Behold the coming of the Sunderer, the herald of He Who Shall Rise Again." Like Prince of Akara, that's fine. But like Herald of He Who Shall Rise Again, like that's really cool. And all those words I know how to say. That's cool. All of these names might be a little bit much. I might trim that just a little bit. Golgoron arrives. I mean that's a pretty sweet name. But Rylovox, I don't know. When half the Sturges are defeated, okay, cool. The portal crackles again, and a horned devil steps through, wielding a huge spiked chain. All right, so from what I understand, horned devil. Yeah, that's a big boy. And I do have the monster manual. I'm just using it to look up real quick. It's right over here. Horned devil. So from what I understand, horned devils are a big deal. They step through, wielding a huge spike chain, and upon arrival, the devil looks around, snarling, "I am Golgoron, Sunderer of..." I forget. Okay, so it's intended to be silly. All right. I'm getting the flavor. The devil then looks around the chaotic scene before the now dormant arch, clearly confused. Garland, distracted either by the Sturge or the cultist, can't properly greet Golgaron. Give the players a chance to address Golgaron, ideally welcoming the devil as Garland Willamane intended. Okay, so they're level 1. There's this CR11. All right, so that is approximately equal to what? Let me open up the Forge of Foes. All right, CR11 is equal to a level 17 character. All right, so they're not fighting this thing, obviously. They're not fighting this thing, so they have to roleplay. And I kind of like that, training new players to be able to think, like, combat doesn't have to be just combat. You can also talk. I really like that, actually. I'm coming around to it, Mike. Give players a chance to address them, ideally welcoming, and maybe Garland is, like, fighting off the Sturgers or whatever, and she's saying, like, smile, like, telling, like, reminding them, be nice, like, he's confused. Offer him some cheese. If a player makes a suitable speech to have their character address Golgaron and introduce them to the city, no ability check is needed. Okay, so they just succeeded. You don't have to be the bard or roll a nat 20. Like, if they say a cool thing, it can just work. That's great for DMs to learn. I really like that. So I think this is something a new DM could run fairly easily. I might trim it just a little bit, but overall, I like where this is going. It's making me more excited to run something in the City of Arches. It's a place with a personality, and I really like that. It's not just like generic city, generic fantasy city. It's like, happy and cheerful. But there's also spicy stuff that's happening. Otherwise, a character speaking with Golgaron must succeed in DC 10 persuasion or performance check. A character who offers the devil the fallen gift basket has advantage. Oh, I love that. There we go. Perfect. Advantage on the check. So you're most likely going to succeed, but there's a chance you're going to roll like a 1 and a 2. But if that happens, like that's even funnier. Maybe Golgaron is allergic to cheese. Who knows? And you can play that pretty well. If welcomed successfully, Golgaron drops his spiked chain, takes the basket, sniffs the soaps, and heads to the public baths. If the character has failed to properly welcome the Horn Devil, or if any character attacks it, Golgaron gives one of the characters a whack with her spiked chain, then flies off and returns to the city later. Okay. Okay, so a single attack probably drops him to 0, maybe kills him, teaches him a lesson, and then flies off. Okay, so I'm digging that. I'm really digging that. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I think that as like an introductory thing to give people a flavor of the city, to get them excited. They have a cool location they can visit. They have a contact. And then here's like a little link of like, hey, here's how to find more information about it. There's a little gazetteer. So in general, city-based places are harder for new GMs to start running because the amount of prep is higher. So I tried to run, what's the one, the Dragon Heist? I tried to run Waterdeep Dragon Heist, I think, and I spent like 2 weeks working on like the backstory and the history of Waterdeep and all the people who were in charge, and I even like got this homebrew like brochure and sent it to the players and like all this, and like knowing all the places and all the factions and all the things, because I don't know where the party's going to go. So I have to be prepared, or at least I feel like I have to be prepared for all the different things. So I put in all this prep, and then I just eventually said, like, actually, let's just don't run that because it's too much. But the way Mike writes his things, I think that's not going to be too much of a problem. You don't need to know everything about it. I think you can sort of layer things on gradually. But if you do want like a quick gazetteer, gazetteers are pretty sweet. So here's the monarchs and the defenders, here's the council, here's a bunch of different people, blah, blah, blah. And then here is a map of the city. A few different points of interest. I'm sure that's not everything in the city, but just some points of interest. And I don't know if this is in the City of Arches, but if it isn't, I would recommend it. for I'm doing this for the GM's guide for the adventure in Nimble. Like I'm gonna have a little call out for the GM that says, if you're new GM, feel free to say, hey, I'm a new GM. Let's stick to the story for just a little while until I get my bearings. And that way you don't have to worry about prepping everything. New GMs can just play the, hey, I'm the new GM card. If you guys want to keep playing D&D, don't just run off randomly just yet. There'll be time for that. Take it easy on me. That kind of thing, just telling the GM, like, it's okay to say that. Like, I prepped the baths. I know what to do if you guys go there. You want to go there? Like, that's okay. That kind of thing is definitely okay. Oh, hey, Mike. Hey, good to see you. I don't know how long you've been here, but we just looked at the thing with Golgaron, and I love the flavor of it, and I'm immediately excited to play this instead of. It's going to be my Planescape thing. So yeah, I was just talking about. I was just talking about how Planescape is my favorite thing in the world, and I played Planescape Torment for ages and ages, and I would much prefer the City of Arches over that, because I heard some stuff about that wasn't that good. So we just read the thing about Golgaron, and I'm super excited. I love the basket of goods. So with cities, they could be super overwhelming with just too much information. And especially for new GMs, if there is some sort of thing that says, like, it's okay to say, let's stick to the adventure for a little while, let's go to the baths, take it easy on me, don't make me regret volunteering to be the GM, that kind of thing, would be super helpful. It would make me much, like, if I were a new GM, it would make me much less stressed over like picking up this city rather than like some other campaign where I just have to like prep the next thing. Because cities, you can go anywhere you want, and that's part of the fun of it. So that said, I did run another adventure. We ran what's that Critical Role one? I have it around here somewhere. I know one of the Critical Role ones, Call of the Netherdeep, and that the city in there, I forget the name of it. The city there was really cool. It took like a bunch of prep. It took like 5 times as long to prep that city. But once I had it prepped, like for the next 3 or 4 months, like I didn't have to do any prep because like anywhere they went, I had something ready. So it's really cool. So there's sort of that give and take where it takes a lot of upfront effort, but once you have it, like you can just play anytime and they can go anywhere. And that feels really good as a GM. It feels even better as a player to say like, oh, I want to go here. And like, oh yeah, you want to go there? That's cool. This is what it's like. So cities are just super cool to run, especially one where like you can just like step through a portal and like all of a sudden you're in like the Flying Islands or like wherever else. Real quick, I want to go over. I think there's like a short one shot at the end, I believe. Locations by class. I like that. So I like that. Like the different classes are interested in different areas. Like specific interests, like hey, you're a barbarian, you might be interested in the lower reaches. You're a warlock. There's a hole in the world. All right, hole in the. Is there hole in the world? I want to know more about that. All right, immediately I'm interested in that because that's a cool name. Hole in the world. In a crumbling temple, an inverted black sphere hangs in the air, its interior revealing an uncountable number of stars in an alien void. Okay, that's cool. That is really cool. Floating in the center of the temple's domed central chamber, the portal is a kind of inverted sphere, resembling the interior of a bowl, but maintaining that appearance no matter what angle is viewed from. That is so cool. The interior of the sphere swims with stars, giving it the name the Hole in the World. That is the coolest thing. Those who stare into its depths for too long often find themselves nauseated or afflicted. That is too cool. That is cool. The voice, the book includes that voice. Awesome. Okay, so I love how that is a thing, and so if I was running this and I'm planning on it, I would basically like whatever classes my characters are playing, I would say like, oh hey, you would immediately feel drawn toward. You might be interested in go visiting the Hole in the World. That is too cool. That is too cool. Fighter, Citadel of the Golden Knights. That definitely sounds like a paladin thing. Yep. Citadel of Golden Knights, Queen's Palace, Temple of the Three Sisters. Yeah, so I would probably give each of my players like one of these things. Druid, Sunset Grove. Yep. Hey, we got some trees. We have a little park. Yeah, go hang out with the deer and stuff. So that's really cool. So if each player has a different thing in the city they're interested in, then that gives them all like a different motivation. And I assume like there's gonna be quests and different cool hooks and things attached to each one of these different locations. It's like, oh hey, last week we did what the druid wanted to do. Hey, this week can we do what I want to do? I love having different factions. And if I know Mike, there's going to be a few different cults. Yep, there it is. He's got some cults. He loves the cults. Bunch of encounters. All right, let's run. Let's roll a couple of quick encounters for the City of Arches. 14. We almost had a nat 20. Several shadows peel away from an ancient fresco in a nearby wall and attack. Okay, so like there's probably gonna be art. Like in any good city, there's gonna be art, wall art, and that kind of stuff. And anytime you walk by a wall art from then on, you might be wondering, is this wall going to attack me or not? And maybe it will. Let's roll again. 5. A band of rough-looking orcs known as the Footloose Fangs. Are they gonna dance? Approach the characters, taking insult at any provocation, intended or not. The furious orcs challenge the characters to a synchronized dance-off. I knew it, Mike. I love that. I love that.
You've insulted the Footloose Orcs. You're gonna pay for that.
In the Theater of Whispers. Oh man, I love it. And maybe it's like one of those snap dances. Yeah, I love that. And I like that, like, you know, just because they're orcs, like, you know, you have this one expectation if you've ever seen Lord of the Rings, and then all right, cool. All right, let's roll one more. That one was fire. 16. A cat wanders past, introduces themselves as Zucchini. Zucchini Troublebox, asks the characters what they're looking at, then slides into a shadow and disappears. If I know my players will want to follow Zucchini and adopt him. So Zucchini is going to become the mascot of the party immediately. Awesome. I love that. So some of them are like, you know, introduce other places in the city. Some of them just like introduce like maybe a character. Maybe Zucchini becomes a reoccurring character. Some of them are combat. That's cool. I like that. All right. So I think this is here it is. Adventures. Obsidian Skull. So immediately what I'm looking for is what level this is for. But does Zucchini want to be adopted? Yeah, I guess if he's talking, like, he gets a say in the matter, right? Zucchini.
Yeah, hey, what are you gonna offer me? What are you gonna offer Zucchini to adopt me, huh? It's a two-way street.
You know, Zucchini's from like Brooklyn or whatever that bad accent was from. In GMs, like the worse your accent is, the more your players will like it. So like just lean into it. Just absolutely lean into it, and then that'll free them up to be silly as well, and you'll have more fun. All right. This chapter presents 3 short adventures set on the City of Arches. Cool. Scenario: Golgorn Arises. We did that. The first adventure: Obsidian Skull. Okay. The Catacombs of the Cliff of the Dead. The Children of Abraxas. So I like so this is a cool name. It's a name I've never heard before, but it's easy to read the moment I see it. I don't have to like slow down and pronounce it. I love that. The other one, the Prince of Volborox. Like I've already forgotten it, and it was hard to pronounce. But I like how this one is easy to pronounce just at a glance. The Children of Abraxas. And then like immediately the player's going to say like, well, how do you spell it? Ibraxus. Okay, they write it down. Led by the cult fanatic Irvana Spellstar, are set to use an ancient relic known as Obsidian Skull to open the gate to abyssal realm of Chor. With the gate open, Irvana hopes to unleash creatures from the domain of the demon prince Abraxas upon the City of Arches. Cool. So there's some things happening. So there's the backstory. Okay. So this, I would love for this to be like the first thing that you see. So maybe it's just me, but if this was like bold and like right under the Obsidian Skull, 2-hour adventure for 2 to 5 first level characters who reach second level upon completing the. This is the most important information for me as a GM. I'd love to see that like adventure or one shot. Here's who it's for, so that if my players are already level 3, I know like, oh, I could still run this, but I might need to increase it or whatever. Or if they're level 10, like, this, if this was like a level 10 adventure, I know level 1, like don't even introduce this to them maybe. So this is what I'm looking for immediately. So I'd love it if that was a little bit more visible. Adventure start. Adventure starts when the character is preparing to enter the crypt where the cultists are operating. Read or summarize the following. You stand at the doorway to one of the many crypts lining the cliffs of the dead above the City of Arches. The spy master, Rosalind Zeshi, laid out your mission clearly. Enter the crypt, find her lost spy, Quintus Herotos, and stop the ritual undertaken by the Children of Braxis. I like that name, the Children of Braxis. It reinforces the bad guy's name, and it's this weird cult thing. So like they're calling themselves like children. Yeah, like that. That's cool. Before they can bring forth fiendish horrors into the City of Arches. That's cool. A successful DC 10 investigation check reveals the stone door leading to the crypt has been recently opened and closed. Cool. It's not locked or trapped. So I do like this. It's not locked or trapped. Okay. So their first level players, maybe some of them new, that lets them know like, oh, traps are something I have to think about. I love that. So even though there isn't a trap, they know that there isn't a trap on here, but later that might be something like this might be some foreshadowing. Perception check reveals the voices of 2 cultists interrogating a prisoner on the other side of the door. All right. And all these DCs are relatively easy to do as well. It's level 1. It should be relatively easy. And I'd probably let like 1 or 2 people do this as well. Pushing open the door requires a DC 10 strength athletics check. If multiple attempts, okay, so I do like this. So anytime there is, and this is just good for GMs in general, if you're homebrewing or doing whatever, don't gate like the next step of the adventure behind some check. Like it has to, like the adventure has to go forward whether they succeed or fail. Like even if it's like a DC 5, like you wouldn't have something that low. DC 8, if they don't roll it, like, well, okay, well, do we just go home? But this is like, no, they can keep trying. If multiple attempts must be made, they're alerted to the party's presence. Okay, so if you hit it, you open the door and, maybe you get surprised or something, or maybe they're not alerted. But if you have to like keep pushing and scraping and like it takes 3 or 4 of you to push this thing open, like, yeah, they hear you. That's cool. All right, so let's find the map. I think there's a map here, just so we can get our bearings. Okay, so I think this is the entry door, and then here's one. The now empty crypt entryway, the now empty Noble's Crypt connects the much older chambers beyond a door to the south. Cool. Smoldering torches and shrouded iron sconces fill the crypt with dim light. The ceiling here is 15 feet high, with the crypt divided in half by a ceiling-high empty sepulcher and 2 tattered curtains. I'm not following what that means. Ceiling's 15 feet high, with the crypt divided in half by a ceiling-high empty sepulcher with 2 tattered curtains. Oh, it's this. Okay. So sepulcher, 2 curtains. 2 broad stone altars stand in both halves of the chamber. And in the book, this would be side by side, so you wouldn't have to flip back and forth as much. Oh no, this would be on 2 different pages. Yeah. 2 cultists interrogate halfling spy. So again, I would just have the cultist like using the Forge of Foes. Like Forge of Foes, like just simple stat block. Hey, if you're running D&D 5e, like probably 90% of the people running this are going to be running it using 5e or something similar. Just have like, hey, they have 20 hit points and they attack for D8 plus 2 or whatever it is. Just have it here. That would be super, super cool. That would make my life way easier. They're interrogating a halfling spy who is tied to the altar in the south of the side of the room. Quintus has 5 hit points remaining and is no... Okay, cool. That's good. He's in no condition to fight, so you don't have to worry about running another character as the GM. Cultists attack as soon as they notice their characters. 2 cultists are defeated, and Quintus is freed. And yeah, if it's just 2 cultists, I assume they're going to be fairly easy for a party of a handful of first-level characters to defeat. They're defeated. He relays the following information. Cultists from the Children of Braxis found an obsidian skull, the name of the adventure, in the lost cistern beneath the City of Arches, along with the scrolls detailing a ritual to open. Okay, so we're getting the backstory as we play. So this information isn't revealed to the party at the very beginning. That's just for you as the GM. Then we start revealing some of this stuff like as we play. Like the information is the reward, not the thing we have to slog through before we can start playing. Love that. Love that. The leader of this branch of the cult. Okay, so this is only one of the branches of the cult. So once you defeat Urvana Spellstar, you haven't defeated the whole cult. This is just one branch of them. Maybe like this is like the flunkies of the group since you're like level 1. So this branch of the cult determined that this tomb is the location of the archway. Okay, so they don't even know where the arch is. So she only thinks that this is this is where it is. Okay, Urvana and her followers have begun the ritual, which will open the arch unless. Oh no, she does know where it is. Okay. The obsidian skull is a dangerous magical relic, but Rosalind would like it turned over to her for safekeeping rather than destroyed. I wonder. So my party would immediately say, "Oh, the obsidian skull is a dangerous magical relic. How well do we trust Rosalind Zeshi? Like, I don't know. Do we trust her? I'm gonna keep it. Like, so my party would definitely keep that bad boy. All right. So they carry some loot. Ooh, and a magical ring with 3 rubies. I like that. Cool. I like that. One cultist also carries a magic ring set with 3 rubies, whose magic they hadn't tested yet. Anyone wearing the ring understands that they can use it as an... Okay, so like, oh, there's a ring with 3 rubies. What does it do? I don't know. Well, I put it on. You can cast Burning Hands. That's pretty sweet. Okay, sort of like a spell scroll. You can use it. And maybe this is cool. Maybe so the ring has three rubies, and like you use it once, and then one of the rubies like fades, or cracks or something. Maybe fades, since it's just a cantrip. I think Burning Hands is a cantrip, right? It fades, and then that sort of like tracks, all right? And then you cast Burning Hands 3 times, and then taking a page out of the Mouse Ritter book, maybe that ruby ring needs to be like you need to do something instead of just it recharges the next day like some of the boring 5e items. This ruby ring, like you need to stick it inside of a blacksmith's forge until it glows bright red, and then quench it in oil. Like you need to do something role playing wise in order to recharge it. So you don't just like, oh well, we'll just long rest in this spooky tomb, and then like we'll just get all my Burning Hands back. No, you need to do something. And that's really cool. I like that kind of thing. I would do that if that was me. So having magical items that can recharge, but only if you do X, Y, and Z instead of like, the next day it comes back. Pry bars are allowed. Yep. Mine doesn't talk much. Nice review you're doing, Save Arches. Yeah, I think Save Arches is going to be like one of the first things that I play with Nimble. Stone door to the south is cracked and crumbling. Pushing open the door requires a successful strength check. Okay. On a failure, the door shatters and falls into the cavern below, causing enough noise to alert the cultists in the next area. There's the collapsing catacombs. Section is much older than the first chamber. Once a curving 10-foot-high corridor, it's... so I'm not going to read the whole description. The walls reveal fragments of painted murals from a previous age. You can study it. I love that. You can discern one or more. So I love it anytime the characters can make a skill check to like learn more lore kind of stuff. That makes it a reward rather than a punishment that I have to endure. Like, all right, everybody sit down while I read you this page of lore. No, it's like, I want to find out what this is. Oh, you succeed. Here's your reward. The same thing, but that's what we're going for. In times past, the many archways in the City of Arches opened to numerous worlds, some pleasant and some terrifying. A key was required to open any arch. Okay, so this adventure is letting them know how this setting works. I like that. A key, and it's not just like an actual physical key. It might be a dagger, a necklace, a mask, or some other magically empowered item. Maybe that ruby ring I just have is a key to some arch. Like, yeah, maybe it is. That's cool. Evil priests and wizards once conducted horrible sacrifices in front of certain archers, luring powerful demons into the world. Oh, okay. One of the mural fragments showed a robed figure ruling from a floating palace above the city of archers, their face obscured by soot. If anyone attempts to wipe the soot away, a blast of fire suddenly erupts in front of the mural. Each creature within 5 feet must make a DC 10 dex save. I like that all of the DCs are 10. It's easy for me to remember any check that I need to make, and if I need to improvise a check, it's 10. It's 10 just like the rest. Everybody knows it's 10. I really like that. Level 1 adventure should have something like as easy as it can be for the GM to run, especially if they're a new GM. It should be that. I like that. DC 10 dex save. Okay, so you're learning about perception checks. You're learning that traps exist. You're learning that, hey, when I kill a thing, I get loot. All right, so it's encouraging me to involve in combat. And then now I'm learning about saves. Okay, so you're introducing the rules as you play. I love that. And it's just going to be 1d8 fire damage. And I'd probably, at level 1, I would actually just take the average because, like, a wizard might only have 8 hit points. So 4, I would just say, all right, you take 4 damage if you fail. No matter what effort the characters make, they cannot uncover the face of this figure, the Nameless King. Ooh, that's cool. Like maybe someone does like tries to wash it, or like does like mending, or casts some cantrip to like fix the mural to see what it looked like. It's as if this thing doesn't want you to know who this is. It is magically foiling you. You cannot know who this is. Someone does not want you to know. Crossbow trap. Children of Braxis have set up a crossbow trap at the end of the corridor connected to a tripwire halfway down. Perception check to find it. They notice the tripwire. Characters aware of the tripwire can step over to avoid the trap. I don't know about having a trap next to a trap. I might spread those out just a little bit. I do like that the first thing was like, hey, you noticed there wasn't a trap, so at least there was some like foreshadowing. So maybe I think I would leave this crossbow trap, and then I might make this this thing like you try to wipe it away to see the face. I might make this like, oh, you vomit. The moment you touch his face, you vomit. And they're like, oh, who's this? So that would drive more curiosity. I might make them like make a DC 10 Constitution save. You fail, you vomit all over the place, and then like flies start coming out of your ears or something, like just something weird and evocative, where like this is gonna stick in their memory forever. So it's not a trap. So it's not like trap next to trap. Because like if there's too many negative things back to back for new players, they might become too cautious, and then the adventure slows down, or then they're not as interested in like opening things and finding cool stuff. Okay, so I like that they can spot it, and then I like that it's a different check, sleight of hand. In Nimble, it would be a finesse check to disarm it. If the trap is triggered, 2 crossbows hidden under the canvas that blends in with the stone of the corridor fire bolts at 2 random targets. Okay, so it's not the person who is disarming the trap. I like that. It's 2 random targets. It might be the guy disarming it, but they might shoot someone else. And then like, you shot me in the trap. I was trying to disarm it, making some cool things. So not punishing the guy that doing the cool thing necessarily, but it's just, targeting 2 random things. So I do like that. So I would definitely keep the crossbow trap. It lets people use their cool skills. And then this one I would change to like, yeah, you puke everything. You puke black bile. You touch the face, you're done. But like it doesn't actually have any negative mechanical effect on you. Gilded arch chamber, an archway set with gold leaf. Ooh, okay, stands against the north wall. Torches and things. Arvana is in here, holding a skull carved of obsidian. Oh, I think that's what we're looking for. Stands before the arch in the process of completing a ritual that will open a portal to the abyssal realm of Chul. She is accompanied by 1 cultist per character. Okay. I do like that. So we have her, and then it's easy enough for this encounter to scale. She must concentrate. Okay, all right. So she's out of the fight. So she's concentrating on this. If her concentration is broken, she must use her action to restart the ritual. So she's not part of the fight, at least initially. Each round on initiative count 20, Her ritual creates following effects. Oh. Round 1, a grim chanting is heard emanating from the other side of the archway. Ooh, I like the sense of foreboding. During this round, Irvana and her cultists have advantage on attack rolls and saving throws. Okay, cool. Round 2, a huge yellow eye appears out of the shadow swirling within the arch. Okay. Before initiative count 20, on the next round, each creature who starts their turn within 30 feet of the arch, including Irvana and the cultists, must succeed on a charisma save or take psychic damage. Cultists are compelled to behold the eye. Oh, each character. Oh, okay. I was about to say, man, Mike, this is pretty punishing. What is this for level 1? What was it? Level 1. Okay, level 1. So each creature. So I might like bold every creature or something, so that like, because I just assumed this was the heroes. Each creature who starts their turn within 30 feet of the arch, including Irvana and cultist. Okay, there we go. Must succeed on a charisma save or take 4 psychic damage. The cultists are compelled to behold the eye, but a character can avert their eyes to avoid the saving throw at the start of their turn. A character who does so is treated as blinded until the start of the next turn. So this is a cool encounter for an experienced GM and experienced players. This might be too many things for a new GM to deal with. If there's let's say there's 5 players, there's like 6 saving throws that they have to do. And then they have to deal with like what blinded means, and then the character. So this might be a little bit too much for a first level party. Like unless they're experienced, then like yeah, this is perfectly fine. But if this is going to be like my first introduction as a GM, I think this would be too much for someone to handle. I remember the first time GMing myself, 5e. I didn't fully know how combat worked. There's a lot of things going on. I was hoping people didn't make any ranged attacks or cast a spell because I wasn't sure how that worked. And if I had to deal with some saving throws and stuff, man, I would have had to stop the game and look up what some of these things mean. I love the idea that the cool thing about this is Irvana is causing an effect that is damaging the bad guys, so she's kind of helping us. Do we really want to stop her, or do we want her to like damage the bad guys some more? But any time that I've ever ran a legendary monster that had like lair actions, I always forgot, or I would forget half the time. So those are tricky to do. You can put it like on your GM screen like an additional thing. But layer actions are hard to remember in my experience, and especially for a new GM. If they're running 5 monsters, 5 cultists plus Irvana plus this plus the saves, it might be 1 or 2 too many things. But all the ideas are spicy and awesome. Any remaining cultists die, and Irvana takes. Okay, so round 3 they just die. Okay, that's cool. Irvana takes necrotic damage equal to half her hit point maximum. A Dretch then steps forth from the archway, acting on their own initiative. On the first turn, the Dretch randomly chooses a character to attack and focuses on that character until one or the other falls. Okay, that's kind of cool. I would have the Dretch stat block just there, and if it's not in the SRD, I would just like make a Dretch with these stats, like just something similar. Yeah, I would definitely have the stat blocks there, so I don't have to look it up or have like an extra sticky note. Are there stats for Irvana? I would assume there is. If it's not in here, I'm sure it would be. I'm sure it would be in the final thing. So yeah, I would have the stats next to wherever they are, especially if they're super simple. And I would recommend them being super simple. But I like the idea of like a new monster coming out. On their first turn, the Dretch should randomly choose a character. If Irvana is defeated, the ritual ends and the swirling shadow in the archway fades as the obsidian skull falls to the ground. The characters can decide what to do with the skull. Do they keep it? Yeah, my players would definitely keep that bad boy. Do they return it? Do they destroy it? Do they sell it to a shady fence? The choice is theirs. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Christopher, I kickstarted City of Arches a few weeks ago. Awesome, cool. Plans to use it with Nimble. Should be fun. Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun. And Mike is playtesting these a lot. So this isn't just something he's writing. This is something he's actually playtesting. Yeah, so I trust his eye with a lot of these things. Pry-bar of Hans paired with belt of Franz. Each time you make a strength check, they loudly clap. They hit to pump. You up. Cool. So there's some really sweet ideas. A simple little dungeon, not too complicated in terms of layout, in terms of things going on. There's enough going on, but this last fight I think might need to be spread out a little bit or rethought just a little bit. But I love the ideas. I love the flavor. The Children of Abraxas are a cool, look like a pretty sweet bad guy to fight. And then there's some cool backgrounds and things, like, who are you in this city? Like if you're an acolyte. So it's not like mechanical things, but if you're this, if you're that, cool. I love this. Head clear, mouth shut, see much, say little. There you go. In my campaign, if I was running this, like a spy, like if a spy sees you, they might say head clear, and like wait for their response. Their response is gonna be mouth shut, and then they'll say see much, and then you'd say little. So that's basically like the secret handshake. Like, okay, you are one of us. I would totally do something like that. I would like write down like, hey, if you ever see like a rogue or a spy or anything, this is the thing to say. And then this shady character, he walks up to you and says head clear, and he looks at you expectantly. And then like, yeah, this is our way of like, letting people know that you're in it. Oh, you could even be an archkeeper. All right, as an so like maybe you're like a colleague of what's her face, the basket lady. As an archkeeper, you found the calling to help confused beings stepping through archways from foreign lands or worlds and welcoming them into the city of arches. I like that this isn't just like, the trope of like, bad guys keep coming to the thing and we have to keep fighting them off. No, like the goal is to welcome them. Sometimes they won't be welcomed. They don't want the basket and they'll fight you. You have to fight. But the goal is to welcome them. I kind of like that. Perhaps you were such a person yourself once. Yeah, left alone and confused as you passed from one life to another with no memory of who you are. Perhaps you simply empathize with those who have done so, wanting them to feel as at home in your city as you do. As a past or present archkeeper, you are often sought out to help shepherd new folk into the city when it's suspected that an archway is about to open. Yours is a noble calling, and one that has helped many find a new home in the city of arches. Yeah, so shepherd, like a shepherd class would be really cool to have this background. An oath sworn would be cool to have this background, or cleric or paladin. That would be super cool. Cool. Let's see if there's any other thoughts or any questions. This looks nice. Yeah, it does look pretty sweet. I'm excited about it. I backed it like a couple weeks ago when it first started, when the Kickstarter first launched. But I'm even more excited to run it now. Is it a 40p scenario? I don't know what that means. Meshy Knight, if you want to clarify what in the world that is. Yuki Productions, I introduced the nimble combat system to my audience. Can't wait to do a real one-shot with Goblin King in the system. Yeah, cool. Hopefully next 2 weeks we'll have the first bits of the adventure out. All right, I'm going to wrap up this short little thing. I think I might keep streaming just a little bit. But the City of Arches it's only got 4 days left, guys. Mike's already got 3,000 backers. The price is very reasonable. $50 gets you the hardcover and the PDF for free. Mike is a great guy. He's been around the RPG community a lot. He's done a lot for the community. Definitely support him. He's a cool guy, and it looks like a really sweet book. So far, none of his books have disappointed. So I'll just say it that way. And I've bought most of them personally myself. All right, so that is it for this. Appreciate you guys, and we'll end this stream here. Later.